3rd down and 1. Off the fake to Davenport. Favre picked off by Russell.
No flag.
David Martin, the intended receiver, was tripped up, got tangled up with Russell. Martin, the 3rd-year tight end, went down, and Russell comes up with the interception.
And Green Bay went for it all there, and it's not a bad call except what you said. Martin tripped on the play. And it was one of those, here's David Martin running here. He runs into it. He just tripped over his own feet. The turf monster got him. And Brian Russell, playing center field, got himself the easiest interception he'll ever have.
Russell thought he had one earlier, but the ball bounced on him. But this one will stand.
But it was just kind of neat watching Chris Chandler come in the ball game. I mean, experienced quarterback, 3rd down and 4. Got to pick up the 1st down. Bam, just that quick. And he starts smiling because he know, I mean,
hasn't thrown the ball in an hour. Threw a few at halftime.
He came in, he had a couple of throws, you know, about 10 yards before he took over.
A lot of work to do, not much time to do it.
And Chandler intercepted. Picked off by Brian Russell. Russell back to the 30-yard line. His 2nd interception this season.
Had only one all of last year. You see the Vikings dropping back. He tries to force it up the field into the slot. Tries to get it to his tight end, Desmond Clark. Well underthrown, and the Vikes get to sit on this one now with the Bears having only 1 timeout left.
Well, there were 4 guys on Desmond Clark. There had to be somebody with one on somewhere in that deal. I don't care how good you are. That is one of the toughest situations you can ever come into in a ball game. You're down by 11. You got 2 minutes to go, and they want you to go win the ball game.
You're winging it, and they're miles back.
He just gets there sooner because of knowing where to be.
Harrington over the middle, and it's picked off by Brian Russell. Russell's 3rd interception in 3 games, and he's finally dropped down right at the 35-yard line. 33 yards on the interception return, and Harrington and the Lions are turned away.
Russell does a great job of reading Joey Harrington from center field. Russell drops straight. You're going to see him come right from the left side of the screen. Here he is. Watch him. Watch him drop back. He's dropping back. He reads the pass. Pass has got a little too much air underneath it. Russell makes a nice play. And I'm wondering if they're going to challenge that he was down by contact.
Ruling on the field that the pass is intercepted, but the runner is ruled down by contact at the 2-yard line because he was brushed before he got off the ground. It'll be a 1st down.
And so they get the ball back at the 2. They do retain possession, however, and the interception counts.
I think that's a good call by the officials, who didn't even have the luxury of the replay, which we had.
Well, Joey Harrington threw 4 touchdowns and no interceptions in that opener against.
Who's been their longtime left tackle. He's been out the last couple of weeks because of the high ankle sprain, and Quaim Harris has kind of had to learn under fire, and so he's out there. He would have been a senior this year at Stanford had he have stayed in college, and he is definitely learning on the job.
But you would expect out of a #1 pick a little better play than what we've seen.
3rd down and 11. Garcia fires, and it's up in the air and picked off again. Brian Russell. 3rd interception of the half. He laterals it. Kelly.
Look out.
Got a shot. Kelly down the sideline, but it's Hurst who saves a touchdown. And with that, the 1st half comes to a close, and what a half it was for Mike Tice and the Minnesota Vikings. All smiles for the Vikings as they head to the dressing room. 28-zip. Visa halftime coming up after this from your local Fox station.
All right, pickup for the Falcons at the Vikings 38. They need a score in a hurry. Johnson throws for Fearless Price, and it's intercepted. Brian Russell, his 5th of the season. Russell cuts inside, laterals it back to Brian Williams. He picks up a block. Williams slips Doug Johnson, cuts inside, and is down to the 12-yard line. What an interception and return by the Vikings. They've done it again. Their 2nd of the game, their 13th of the season. And Brian Russell has had 1 in each of the Vikings' 5 games.
These guys are having fun. But you know what? You want to talk about using your head, Sam? Using your head is Brian Williams, who ends up with the ball after it bounces off his head right there and falls into the arms of Russell. You know, sometimes you're just there. You're just around the ball. And Russell has a knack for being around the ball. But he knows who caused the play, and he pitches it back to him and said, go ahead, you made it happen.
And George O'Leary practices returns every day.
Says head to the sideline.
Pick a sideline, go for it. 78.
But one of the techniques he talked about when they're trying to stay up against a run, think about a defensive lineman. He says palms down. Take your hands and put your palms around. What he means by that, get your hands on the offensive lineman, push them down so they can't get to your feet and knock you down.
First down Denver at the Minnesota 33. Berline on the move, throwing deep for Rod Smith, intercepted at the 5. Brian Russell. Russell has just tied Paul Krause with his 6th interception in 6 consecutive games, the Minnesota franchise record. The NFL's interception leader has picked off another one. Sam Brandon will helping with the stop on Mo Williams. Let's go back to the pick.
Yeah, let's go back to the interception, Craig. Chris Hovan sees the play action pass, gets to Steve Berline, who cannot throw the ball far enough because of that. There's Russell, but also look at the tight end over the middle, how wide open Dwayne Carswell is. Pressure on a quarterback. They can't make the throw as accurately, but they can't see. Steve Berline has, you know, to go back to that interception, one other point. Kevin Williams, the left defensive end, made Steve Berline leave the pocket. That allowed Chris Hovan to make the hit to cause the ball to go short. And there's a guy that was doing his job correctly. He saw it was a play action pass, stayed deep, and he gets the interception, Brian Russell.
For a guy who played quarterback in college, Brian Russell is doing okay as a defensive back in the NFL.
It usually doesn't work, but he did get to play some defensive back in college. Prepared him.
Ineligible player, 78, illegally downfield on the pass.
From the 20-yard line, Berline needs the 27 for a first down. These teams a combined 0 for 9 on 3rd down today. Berline over the middle, bounces out of the hands of Shannon Sharpe, and markers fly. Sharpe is still on the turf.
Could it be the hit by Brian Russell?
Pass interference, number 55, defense grabbing his jersey while the ball is in the air. Automatic first down, foul.
Well, to answer your question, it wasn't the hit. Chris Claiborne going against Shannon Sharpe did have a hold of the jersey, had his hand on him. It did not affect Shannon Sharpe running, but you grab the jersey.
Man coverage, these guys across the board cannot hold up with the skilled players that the Rams have.
On first down, they're going to stay throwing it. And Bulger airs it out down the middle. Holt the intended receiver, and it's picked off. Brian Russell. League-high 23rd interception by the Minnesota Vikings, and Russell with a return into Ram territory. Brought down at the 41. So Mike Martz, Mark Bulger,
weren't happy with just picking their way down the field. They air it out, and the interception is the result.
And it's a terrible play by Mark Bulger. It dropped back into a zone defense. They weren't in the man coverage here. You got a free safety in the middle of the field. Had all the time in the world, and Mike Martz has been drilling Mark Bulger this week. Check it down. Let Marshall Faulk have it underneath. Don't throw it up for grabs. You can't do this against the Vikings. They have too many guys that can catch the football back in there in the secondary. 23 interceptions now in the year.
That's what got him in trouble last week against Arizona. He has the propensity to make some bad decisions, and that was one of them.
Could read Martz's lips saying, check it down. Bulger didn't. He throws his 18th interception. That's Kleinsasser. And Kleinsasser is met by Fisher. Gain of 6. How about the NFC North? It was a happy Thanksgiving for Minnesota, for the Vikings and their fans when they saw Green Bay lose at Detroit. That means coming in, it's a game-and-a-half difference. A chance to make it a 2-game bulge in the NFC North with a win today.
And just nobody's really been able to create any separation. That makes this game here today a huge game for Minnesota. If they lose this game, it gets Green Bay right back. And
they're scared to do it because they're afraid of mistakes, but Kansas City, very efficient, makes it work almost all the time.
The defense gets the benefit of the crowd here. 2nd and 8. Green down the middle, intercepted in the end zone. Brian Russell to the 10, 25, and finally dragged down at about the 47-yard line. A 48-yard return. Brian Russell just pulled even with his secondary mate, Corey Chavis. They now have 8 interceptions each.
Brian Russell stays way back. That way he can watch and react again. Tony Gonzalez, they move him so he can get down the field fast. Trent Green, he gambles. You're down 31-7, and the gamble goes in favor of the Minnesota Vikings.
Chavis and Russell now with 8 picks apiece. Not since the '98 Dolphins have we seen teammates do that.
Another good example of sitting way back and let the quarterback make the initial move and then react.
Culpepper going to go for it all. Randy Moss.
It was great. What was the final score?
I could have sold tickets.
What was the final score? Give him the number.
86.
86. A college baseball player bowled in 86.
It was a strong 86. That pass popped into the air, intercepted at the goal line by Brian Russell. His second of the day, still on his feet, out across the 15-yard line. And that'll put the cap on a Minnesota victory.
You know, it's funny, you watch this game and players do so much work preparing. And Trent Green, as I said earlier, just said the safeties for the Vikings, they're back deep. And he believed that's the reason why they have so many pass interceptions, because they can break to the football. And then, most importantly, they are the recipients of tipped footballs, because you see them hit in the air, you run to it, and an easy interception.
Brian Russell started this day 1 pick behind his teammate Corey Chavis with 2 today. He now leads the NFL in interceptions with 9, and you see what that Minnesota defense has done.
Yeah, that's those interceptions and turnovers. That was the reason why Minnesota got off the 6-0 start.
Brian Russell, incidentally, a young man who wasn't drafted coming out of San Diego State, played quarterback as a freshman at Penn, and then transferred to San Diego State. And he had 6 straight games with an interception, which tied the team record held by Paul Krause. Two minutes to play at the Metrodome.
Were there some hits this weekend?
There were some good hits. It was Showdown Sunday. That's turned into Bonus Monday on Jacked Up. Going to give you a Bonus Monday hit. This is Bobby Ingram, he's going to be hit by Brian Russell and Chris Claymore. Now, he's going to make a good little run here, and you watch him turn it up. Doesn't look like a tremendous hit. I want you to watch the aftermath. Watch the aftermath. Watch him as he tries to get up. Kenny Mixon doesn't know whether he's celebrating or whether he got jacked up. Number 5 on our hit, Eugene Wilson, going to lay out. This is Brian Russell, and maybe the biggest hit of his career, Atula Mealy, and you can see what he's feeling right there. Oh, my goodness. One more replay. Mealy got jacked up. And number 1 on the hit list, Junior Seau.